Are you looking for an exciting and positive employment opportunity with a great company? Dublin-Lawrence County Development Authority encourages applicants for customer service representatives to apply online for a prospective new company interested in locating in Dublin. Applicants are candidates for 300 jobs contingent on Lawrence and surrounding counties' ability to provide a pool of applicants showing we have the manpower to handle these jobs. It's important we show prospective employees for these jobs. Complete your career interest survey by logging on to dlcda.com. Look under News for your application. Share this link and information with your friends, family, and connections throughout Middle Georgia. And thanks in advance from Dublin-Lawrence County Development Authority.
It gives us great pleasure today to introduce our speaker for today, Superintendent Richard Woods. He's an educator with 27 years of education at various levels, from the classroom all the way to the central office. He's not only a leader in our state, he is a leader nationally. He is leading Georgia nationally in student achievement, some great gains that we have been experiencing as a state. And the old Baptist preacher, he said the best way to introduce someone is to get out of the way. So you have his bio in your program, and we're very excited about the work he has been doing with the Every Student Succeed Act as he has been leading our state. And let's give a great Dublin Rotary welcome to Superintendent Richard Woods.
Again, it's a pleasure to be with you today. Again, as I've shared, anytime I get outside of Atlanta, that's a good day for me. My home is actually in Tifton, Georgia, so I know a little bit about the slower process of life. But I do want to, again, say thank you to our school systems. Again, you know, a lot of the accolades and things and the progress that we are seeing, you know, I do not, you know, take claim for myself, but it is the hard work that is going on down here in your local school systems. And I would say that for myself, when I look at Georgia and when we see what is taking place nationally, Georgia is really positioning itself to be in a very strong state. We are seeing gains, we are seeing improvement throughout you know, the state itself. We are being recognized, you know, as a leader throughout the nation. There are things that we're looking at and opportunities that we have that you know, for our children, you know, are really they're at a state in which they have opportunities today that we have never seen in our state. I think in the area of, you know, when I first started teaching or when I was a student here in Georgia, really, you know, we talk about technology. Technology for me back then was a piece of chalk. Okay, that's as good as it got. We did not have the, you know, the tablets and the smart boards and everything that was there. When I first started teaching, again, like I said, you know, I was given a piece of chalk, a textbook, and here's your 30-something kids. Now educate. But there's a lot of support that is out there. But as we look at making the improvements, looking at seeing some things, you know, I reflect back that, you know, that probably I could speak instead of for 10 minutes, I really could speak for 10 hours, you know, on the good things that are going on in Georgia. Right now, we have the highest graduation rate we have seen, you know, under our new calculation system. Again, I expect that by 2020 we will meet, if not exceed, the national level, and that will be something that I don't think that Georgia's ever said that they could brag with. We are seeing, you know, some of our testing, when it's looking at ACT, SAT, our scores continue to go up, especially in the area of our minority students. And again, that's seeing a lot of great gains, you know, with that. And again, we are bucking the system where we're seeing nationally those scores are going down. And again, we continue to see movements, again, talking with individuals around the nation, you know, trying to say what is going on in Georgia. You know, we are becoming a leader in our career tech program, or what we call CTAE. We are traditionally, and at least right now, we are probably recognized as number 1, number 2 state in the nation when it comes to our CTA program. And I think that, you know, collectively saying that, you know, as I look back in the years, at both as a teacher and administrator and now as state school superintendent, you know, I believe our best days, and I want to say believe, I know our best days are ahead of us. We are seeing such great gains and again such great movement. And again, education has not become something that we're looking at as just the responsibility of a school. It's not just the responsibility of a district or the Department of Education. But I would say that all of Georgia is now investing. And I want to appreciate your commitment. Again, you think of something as giving a dictionary to a child. That's a big thing, folks. That's a big thing. Because we look at things in which people and individuals and organizations are investing in our future. We expect a growth probably, I think, of 4 or 5 million, folks within the next few years in Georgia. So we've got to be in a state of readiness to prepare for those folks that are coming. For business and industry, again, I think under Governor Dill's leadership, 5 years in a row now, I think that we have been listed as the #1 place to do business. And I can tell you, business is coming to Georgia. And I hope that what we see, that it is business that will come to all of Georgia, not just the metro area. Because again, living in the South and rural area, these are places that we need industry as well. Because I think that the more diverse we are, the better off we will be in the state. One of the things I'm excited about in looking at, our state and the potential there, you think about the little town called Savannah. I think with the widening of the port, we will see a lot of industry that comes out of that. And again, of course, all the other things, looking at putting that together, we have opportunities. And what that means, that's opportunities for our children. Opportunities to find a good job, to make a good living. And that means that we as educators, we as schools, have to make sure that we're paying attention to what's happening in Georgia. I think that one of the things we look at, and again, that's something I'm, very passionate about, as a high school teacher who worked eventually down at the elementary school. Again, as an individual who grew up in a military family, and again, Navy family. So I appreciate, sir, your service in the Navy. With that, I understand, the life of what that means for children. And again, as I look at that, what is the most important thing that I think we can transfer to our young people? And I believe that is reading. I think that is the most important skill that we can transfer to each and every child. It's imperative, especially at the young age. We know the research shows the importance of making sure that our children can read on grade level by 3rd grade. And so when I talk of something as simple as a dictionary, that means something, because that is influencing a child's ability to take words and expand their vocabulary, which again has a 1-to-1 correlation to their ability to read. And so that is something we have undertaken throughout the state of Georgia. I appreciate Governor Deal and the First Lady as far as laying some groundwork with that and putting that in motion. For myself, we are looking at increasing opportunities. We as a state just recently received the Striving Reader Grant, and this was a very competitive grant. And it was something that was very unusual because it was the second time we received that. So within Georgia, within the next 3 years, we're going to receive roughly about $20 million a year to help educate our young folks in the area of reading. And specifically, we're looking at that K-5 area because that is the critical area. Because I don't care what class you go into, whether it's middle school, high school, beyond, the one common denominator is you've got to have the ability to read. If you want to pursue higher education, whether that means technical school, whether that means university system, internship, or military, you've got to have the ability to read. And if you want to continue to grow as an individual, to expand yourself beyond the sandbox in which you live in life, that means you've got to be able to read. And so that is a commitment that I understand. Again, as I shared, growing up in a military family, my mother made sure that I had books all the time. And again, when I look at and I travel throughout the state, that's one issue that many of our children do not even have a book, or the only book they typically have in the home is the phone book. And so those are things in which we are committing. We are actually having a partnership with our state library system, in which we're trying to promote reading throughout the year. We also have working with a nonprofit organization, Change for Georgia. The past 2 years, we've been able to put over 200,000 books in the hands of children. This year, we hope to up that and say that we'll get a donation of 500,000 or 500,000 books and put that in the hands of our children. But also in conjunction with K-5, and not only reading, but I think having strong math skills is extremely important. Because again, as you look at the foundations, again, we talk about the 3 R's. They are the 3 R's for a reason, because they work, and we know the importance of a strong foundation. Because I think that as I work in Atlanta and look at my office, and I look out across the Atlanta skyline, I see all these great skyscrapers. But the one thing I do realize that's the most important part of that structure you do not see. It is the foundation. Without that strong foundation, you do not have the height that is there. And that is one of the things that I've committed for us, without this strong K-5 foundation. And I would say that we even need to reach in and encourage our parents, even before our children get to school. That as we do that and have that strong foundation, then that means the height of that child's ability to succeed will be based on that. And so we continue to look at that and do wonderful things in that area. But also as we begin to look at change and putting some things in place, one of the things that I looked at in running as an individual for this office, what I realized is that, what we needed to do was really turn back and personalize education. For many years as we look, again, when No Child Left Behind came in roughly about 2001, what we did is we took our eye off the child and education became about the test. We made a big, big mistake on that. Education should never be about a test. Okay? It should always be about our children. Our children have names. I've never met a parent that called their child 670-995. Okay? That is not the way in which we work. But again, you think about that, it is important to have relationships. You think about who your favorite teacher was, the teacher or teachers that had an impact upon your life. Now, odds are, I never saw that person, never met that person. But what I can guarantee you is that individual had a relationship with you. That's how you grow. That's how teachers get to know their children. And because they get to know their children, they know what their positives and their strengths, their weaknesses are, and they can better address that. Yes, testing does have its place, but it is something that should be used as a diagnostic tool to allow us to see where our children are so that we can take them where they need to be and where they can become.
I'm Marcus Clements with Clements & King Insurance. Are you on Medicare or about to go on Medicare? Clements & King Insurance has all the answers to all that's available to you when you reach this age. Clements & King Insurance for all your health and life insurance needs.
Gobble up the biggest savings now at Dublin Nissan.
Right now at Dublin Nissan, save up to $3,500 off the Rogue.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
Success for education, yes, we have a very, minimum bar, but it should be an infinite ceiling of success that is open to each and every child. And so we continue to look at that, and I think one of the things we're doing with that is recognizing that for years that in Georgia, and I think even throughout the nation, we basically said every child is going to a four-year university. Now, I have news for you. That's not reality. That is not the world. When my air conditioner goes down, I do not call my college professor. Okay? I reach out and I call individuals with skill. And we have to get back to the resemblance or the belief that all education is important. My initial background started off in air conditioning and heating. I was able to wire my house when I built my house. Skill sets are desperately needed. Right now, you look at within Georgia, the average age of our plumbers, masons, electricians, carpenters is between 55 and 60 years of age. Well, you can start to do the math. That group of individuals, again, will be getting old and retiring. We've got to have individuals that come in. In some counties, we don't even have, we can't even find a plumber. So those are things we look at, the skill sets of what industry, is saying that we need. So we are looking at expanding our opportunities. And what I want to reassure people is that, just because you take a technical, course, that does not mean we are going back to grandpa's old shop class. But it is providing them with an education that is highly technical. It requires a lot of skill. Many of these jobs you look at when you get into the workforce, they require, calculations. They're telling robots to do this and do that. And so that requires, skill in itself. Job opportunities across the state, again, as I mentioned, with the expanding of the port in Savannah, will mean a lot of things are going on. You think about, yes, we have, the increase of trucks, but you got to have diesel mechanics. You got to have hospitality people. You got to have individuals that support that. Right now, in conjunction with industry, we in education are talking with industry. We're saying, what do you need so that we can help you out. And that becomes more at the local level. And again, within here in Dublin and Lawrence County, what you can look at is that you can see, is there an industry? Is there a business that needs some courses to support your local growth? And so working with the Board of Education, we have been working with industry to create new pathways that support what is going on in local, environments. One of the biggest areas of growth that we have seen within the state is in the area of the movie industry or film industry. We're now the #3 state in which to do film. Well, it's great to be the actor, the best actor, best actress or whatever, but most of the things that go on behind the scenes. If you look at the end of the credits, you see the list of actors, but the vast majority of the people are the support people. And again, what we have looked at, working with our technical school system, working with our high school system, and working with the university system, we are creating courses that support the industry of that growth. And again, over in Augusta, we have, the Cyber Command. That's another area in which the Cyber Command has come down. Well, now we have created, coursework that supports that growth. The military is very excited about having us support what goes on. Over in Elbert County, they have a mining industry. Well, we work with them to create courses that support that. And so that's one of the areas that I would say that for all of our districts, all of our counties, if there is something in which we can support you to help your economic growth, to support a pathway that allows your children to go into a workforce, then that's what we need to be about. And so we want to make sure that we are engaging with you. Opportunity to speak with you, is really quite a great honor for myself. I speak with educators all the time, but we have to think outside the world of education. Not everyone is going to become a teacher, but they are going to work in life. And I think that one of the things we talk about business and what we hear from business as well is the area of soft skills. Having our young people, it's great to show up for work, but they need to show up for work on time. Business and industry is looking for individuals that is teamwork, that they can solve problems, that they can communicate and interact with individuals. And again, that is something we are expanding opportunity within our CTA, environment, but also to interweave those skills throughout. And so that's something that, even yesterday I was meeting with a group of young people, I think at Jefferson High School, and the one individual that noticed that we were talking with the young people, and they saw me shaking their hands, but each child looked me dead in the face, they gripped my hand, and they acted as an individual that you would want to hire. That was one thing that was not solicited, but what people told me. And so I think, for those, I would say enough about our FFA program. They do a great service. They do a great service with training our young people. And our CSOs, again, as well, doing that. But all of our kids can benefit from that. And as we look at, expanding those opportunities, I think one of the biggest game changers in the state of Georgia has been our Move On When Ready, or what we call dual enrollment. Now in which a child, they can go to school. And again, by going to school, they can earn college credit at the high school. Now this has a very big, personal, aspect to it, but, for a child, but also it has an economic, we talk about economic development as well. That you've got to imagine that for children that now they can earn 2 years of college credit at a high school. And again, because of that, that means that's money that is traditionally spent on the education of a child. So we're not expanding, the tax base, but using our resources, current resources, to provide opportunities for children. They can go to a technical school, they can go to a university, they can go into now an internship. And again, many companies are now accepting our young people, and again saying, if you stay with us, you will have a job at the end, or we will pay for your future college or education down there. But also with that for our young people, to let them know that what we have is that not only can you graduate with 2 years of college, and again, even this past year, I was able to hear of some individuals who were graduating with an associate's degree one week and then receiving their high school diploma the next week. So that's 2 years. But in conjunction with that, if their grades are good enough and they have the Hope Scholarship, you can have your entire college undergraduate degree paid for. Now, the average debt for our young people in the state of Georgia right now is about $28,000. So you can imagine, I was, an individual who had to pay all my money back. But that's something in which the state of Georgia is investing in their young people. And $28,000 is a lot of money for people. Because what I share with people as well is that typically when they graduate from college or technical school, they want to invest in something else. They want something gold or something that has a nice shiny rock on it. Well, when that person says, I do, they also give you an IOU for $28,000 as well. So you start doing the math, that's $56,000 that a couple potentially is in debt with to start off with. And that's not something that we need to be in. And so as we look at that, a great opportunity. But again, as I close, right now, I will share some things that my goal is to make sure that our children are ready for life. And that is exposing them to things more than just what I've shared. I think fine arts is extremely important. Making sure that they have opportunities to take band, music, drama, dance, the visual arts. Again, many people don't realize that the visual arts or fine arts, within the state of Georgia is actually a multi-billion-dollar business as well. And so that's something that I think we promote, because it does take, that part of education increases, the creativity, the things that business and industry are looking for. But also I think that, looking at life, making sure that our kids, have exposure to personal finance. I think personal finance is the most important, or one of the most important classes that we can take. In this past year, working with the state board, we now at least have the opportunity to take, personal finance for all of our students in the state of Georgia. Again, you think about, how do I invest? How do I prepare? Again, preparing for our kids for life. Well, again, it has been my pleasure to be with you today, and if I have a little bit of time, again, I want to be mindful of what I'm in and your time, and to answer a question or two. But if not, please do not hesitate to reach out to the Department of Education, our website, and again, with that, to ask questions. Again, I and the department are here to serve you. We're here to serve your local school districts. We're here to serve our communities. We're here to serve the state of Georgia. And again, as I shared at the beginning, our best days are ahead. And I think we get another 4 years up there on that top of that. You'll be very, very proud. If you're not already very, very proud of your school, but you'll be proud of the state of Georgia and where we are at in education. So again, thank you again. It's been my pleasure to be with you today, and I wish you the very best. Thank you again.